So why don't you go ahead and tell everyone your name, where you're from, your major, and where you're at in college right now in terms of like freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
My name is Phylicia, and I'm originally from Texas, and my major is registered nursing. I'm just taking my prereqs, and I am going into my, I guess I would say freshman. I'm going into my second semester of college courses. This past semester was my first time taking actual courses besides the remedial courses.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and talking to me about your experience with Rock at College. So I want everyone to kind of hear your story and your background when it comes to how college has been for you before Rock at College.
I started going back to school in like 2013 or 2014. But I was just taking like remedial courses, so I guess those courses didn't require much studying or much strategy. But then when it got to this past semester, I was taking actual college courses. I was just trying to skate by, not really knowing how to utilize like studying habits, and then and there was one of my classes I was taking, psychology. Every test that I had, like for like the past two tests, since I was taking the class, I had gotten F's in the on the test, and so that's when I knew that I needed to change my study habits and my strategies. And I didn't really know how to do that. So that's when I stumbled up on Rock at College.
And so what was it about Rock at College specifically that made you feel right now, and this could help me?
Well, at Rock at College, I like how, Clarissa's feminine approach to college and how to navigate through college and how to tackle courses with study strategies, time management, etc. Like there was a system that she has in place that really helped me get back on track and to improve my grade. Like I went from like a F average in class, like toward the beginning of the semester, to an A.
That's awesome. And so tell me what your experience was like in Rock at College. Explain to me like how things were different for you from before you started the course.
Ever since I started taking Rock at College, I started watching her system videos, and I went through them step by step.
Oh, one second. And when she's saying her, guys, she's talking about me. I'm Clarissa. I'm talking to her. She's just referring to me in the third person, which is totally fine. Go ahead.
Anyways, I was following her system, her Rock at College system, from like planning, using a planner, to like how to do reverse engineering on splitting up certain like tasks in all of your classes, and how to become like a to-do list queen, and I was really the fan of the to-do list. I really love the to-do list.
And how was the reverse engineering side of creating a to-do list different from how you were originally creating your to-do list in college? What was different about it in Rock at College?
Well, Clarissa, she really made it so much easier, and she has like a really feminine approach, which attracted me to Rock at College. And so what I did is for psychology, I just went on Google. I basically wrote down the definition of psychology or something like that. And then I took the main words and I split them up. And I And then, so when I started reading the chapters, because I wasn't reading the chapters before I did rock at college, um, I started reading the chapters and doing active studying instead of passive studying. I started understanding more of what I've learned and what I've read before I came to class, because I really like that approach better than just taking notes in class. So I would rather just read the chapters and then write the notes on my own before I go to class, because it was much easier for me to learn that way. And also, because I did because I looked up the definition of psychology, I was able to pick up on some things and get that into my brain. And and also, like, I knew what not to write down and what to write down and what to ignore.
Before Rock at College, would you have ever thought of like just looking up the definition of psychology before you even started doing your reading?
No.
So tell me, how were you studying before Rock at College specifically?
Well, to be honest with you, like, looking back, I didn't do much studying. What I did, like, my idea of studying was just going to class and not reading the chapters. Unfortunately, that's what many college students do. They just don't take the time to read the chapter. They just write the notes in class and then just try to study the notes. Like, I would try to study the notes using passive reading, and I find that wasn't very successful at all.
And did you find that you, with the Rock at College strategies, that you actually had the time to read the chapters before you went to class?
Well, since I was using Clarissa's sanity schedule system, I was able to schedule times to read class and then do some other homework and studying for some of my other classes. And also, I've learned that it's always better to focus more on the most difficult classes, which was psychology for me. So I was more focused on psychology than any other courses. So I put more time into my psychology class than I did my other classes.
Right, and I know that when you and I talked in our one-on-one session, we determined that you didn't need to study as hard for the other classes to get good grades, but you really needed to focus on psychology in order to get the grade that you wanted in that class. Is that right?
Right, correct.
Awesome. Was there anything that surprised you about Rock at College that you didn't think that you were going to get out of it, but you did?
Like the sanity schedule, because I didn't truly know how to plan or make a sanity schedule for college.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly didn't know how to go about it. I never really used much of a planner. I would always use a sheet of paper and write down all of my homework assignments on a sheet of paper. And then sometimes it gets like I would lose that sheet of paper.
And so you having the sanity schedule kind of give you a clear outline of what you needed to do every single day, what you were going to be working on, and made sure that you had enough time to get everything done that you needed to get done in order to get the grades that you wanted, right?
Right.
How did you feel going into every exam using the Rock at College study method?
Well, I was pretty confident that I was going to pass the test with at least a B or an A. And but I've been, ever since I took Rock at College, in total I've gotten like the 2 A's and 1 B. The reason why I got that B, I did like read the chapter and do the questions and stuff, but I didn't do the ongoing studying like I wanted to, because I had a little something going on, but I get that high B. I was still able to pull in that high B because I did the reading, and then I did do a little bit of the ongoing like practice questions, but I didn't exactly study the way I did when I got the A's.
But it was still enough in order for you to get a decent grade.
Right.
Yeah. Did you find that using the strategies to kind of create your own exam questions and create your own questions to ask yourself during active studying is what really helped you feel confident going into the exams?
Yes, and I didn't even have, like, like when, like before the test, like you just look at the study guide right before the test. Like I didn't even have to do that. Like I was pretty confident that I was going to ace the test.
That makes me so happy to hear that. Like I am so proud of you, especially from like knowing where you came from, where you were kind of, failing the psychology classes, then seeing you bring up your overall grade and your GPA just makes me so happy for you. And I have no doubts that you're definitely going to get into nursing school and that from here on out, applying the strategies, you're just going to get like awesome grades because you have the foundation down. That you want to add, maybe a question that I didn't ask that I'm not asking the right questions to kind of trigger your mind to talk about Rocket College. Is there anything else that you want to add?
Well, I just want to say that you don't exactly have to follow step by step what Clarissa implements, but that's like a foundation that you can work off of. Like I always do the to-do list and some of the sanity schedule, and then I would make a plan and I didn't really like create exam questions, but I just took the study because my teacher, she would give us the study guide and she would review like a class period before the test, and she would give us the study guides because the study guide, those are what's exactly going to be on the test. So I use that to kind of make my own questions and kind of just test myself to see if I knew them, because I didn't want to study something that wasn't going to be on the test. Because she would give us the exact same study guide that was going to be on like the test. It's not like questions or anything. It's more like words or concepts and things like that. So I would just study that.
I'm so glad that you said that, because that is what I want to put out there, is that I'm basically giving you the foundation and the framework to create your own study system, your own blueprint that'll help you succeed in your classes. So I'm so glad that you said that and that you found that was true for you, where you could take a lot of the concepts from Rocket College and customize it to what your professor was giving you and what you were exactly experiencing in that class. And that's exactly what I want people to do. I want people to take Rocket College to learn the foundation of how to study, how to take notes, how to create a sanity schedule or a time management schedule, and then apply it to each and every single one of their personal situations and each and every single one of their classes. And one thing that you mentioned is that you used a lot of the information from your teacher before Rocket College as much as you did post Rocket College.
Oh, no, I didn't. Like, I was always nervous at reaching out to my teachers, or if I did, I wouldn't really know, like, the correct questions to ask my professors. Like, before, our professors really wasn't giving us the study guide like a week or 2 weeks before. But then since I asked her, we gotten all of the rest of the study guides for all of the tests that we were going to have. She just gave us the rest of the study guides.
Yeah. And can you tell me how your classmates reacted? Because I remember you telling me something about when you asked that question, how everyone else responded to you.
Oh yeah, everyone was really, really happy that I asked, because they wanted a study guide.
Yeah. And that's something that a lot of students don't take advantage of, is the fact that your professors are like they're like a walking, talking answer key. They have created the exams. They know exactly what questions are going to be on the exam. And if you know the right questions to ask, you're going to get a boatload of information that's going to help you boost your GPA.
Oh, and also, ever since I implemented Rocket College, like during the lectures, like I would have the notes that I've done in front of me, because I had already done the reading already. And so I would have the notes in front of me, and I would have already known the concept. And my psychology teacher, she would throw out questions, and hardly anyone knows except for like one or two people, including me now, since I've been reading the chapter. And my teacher was like, "You sound like you're very ready for the test."
And how did that make you feel?
Yeah, it made me feel happy. And another A student, he's a psychology major. He's like, "You sound like you're really ready for the test."
Yeah, honestly, I bet that made you feel like $1 million, huh?
Yeah, it did. I was so happy.
That's
and she
awesome.
would just ask questions, and I'm always answering the questions because, like, no one else would answer like the questions.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the exam, a period after the exam, she gives us our grades, and she put like a grade statistic on the board, like she put a grading scale on the board, like who got the F, like who got a 30, 40, 50, 30 through 100.
Mm-hmm.
And so like wow. And this was when I had gotten my A, like pretty confident. And then when I first got my grade, like it was like a 97, and I was so happy. Like I was the only person with an A in that class, and then some people, and only one or two people gotten B's, and like the rest of the class, they gotten like 40s and 30s and things like that still. But I used to be in that category.
In the 30 category? And then you were the only
Yeah.
That is so amazing. Like, honestly, every single time you posted in the Facebook group about you passing an exam or like getting an A, I literally felt like I was the one taking the exam and getting that grade. I was so freaking happy for you. And I would run over to my boyfriend and I'm like, look, one of my students, look.
Oh, thank you so much.
You are like honestly so awesome, and I'm so happy to hear that Rocket College has helped you become the student that you want to become. And I thank you so much for hopping on here today with me and sharing your story and being so vulnerable in sharing, you know, the failures that you've had and also the successes that you've had as a student.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
All right, thank you so much.